Hello, folks. Welcome to today's football predictions on bettor. It's another very beautiful day, beautiful Friday morning, and we are back with our predictions as usual. All right, we take a look at football games happening across the globe and make verdicts on these matches based on recent results for each of these teams. We look at those results and use it to come up with the best possible verdicts for each of the matches that are going on across the globe. And yeah, among the selected matches, all right, that's what we have today. And we're going to look at these matches in a short while, okay? And we also have a VIP of a special group of put out games with very high probability of coming out correctly. You can always endeavor to join our VIP special. All right, you can find the link in the description of this very video as well. Anyway, you see, join channel membership around this very video. All right, John, with a very small token. In that way, you are also supporting us to continue doing this, and we will do our best. We promise to do very well today. And all right, we'll be looking at the matches in a short while, and we'll start with the very first match for today. It is a match in Austria Second Division where we have St. Pölten will be up against the Austria Lustenau. All right, and we look at the recent matches for St. Pölten. Out of the 6 games that they had in the last, recent games, they had 5 wins out of those 6, and also 1 draw. And we look at the away side there, Austria Lustenau, they had 2 wins and 3 draws. They also lost 1 in the last 6 games. Okay, when you look at how the sides fared from home and away basis, you can see, the home side, when they played from home, the last 10 home matches that they had produced 8 wins for St. Pölten's, and they also had 2 losses. Those 2 losses came in the match against Besiktas. That was a continental game, all right. But locally, they've been faring fantastic. They've been doing fantastic. They've been very awesome in recent games, winning most of the games that they had from home. All right. When you look at the away side, in the last 10 away games they had 5 wins out of those and 3 draws, but they lost 2 matches as well. And when you put all that together with the fact that the last time both teams met, which was in February of this year, we saw St. Pölten beating this very side from away on that very occasion by 1 goal to 0. And hence the reason we are going with the home side as St. Pölten to also win here outrightly. So we expect a home win outrightly in this very encounter. That's all valid for that very game. All right, the next game we have for you today is in Azerbaijan Premier League, where we have a Turan FC who will be facing Karabakh. All right, we know Karabakh being very strong in the Champions League in recent games. And when you take a look at how the two sides fared in recent matches, you can see that the home side, Turan, winning 4 games out of the last 6 games. They had 2 losses as well. And for Karabakh, their away side also 5 wins and a draw in the last 6 games for them. This is a very, very strong side, and we saw them doing that very well, winning the likes of Benfica, surprisingly. Okay, when you look at how they fared in recent games from home and away perspective, you can see 2-1, the home side, winning 4 matches out of the last 10 home matches. They had 1 draw, but have lost 5 games in the last 10 home matches, okay? And for the away side, Karabakh, we saw them winning 9 matches from the last 10 away games. They also had 1 draw. They never lost a single match in the last 10 away games that they had. All right. And, when you look at how these two sides fared on head-to-head basis, you see that the last time both teams met was actually in March of this very year. And on that very occasion, it was a 4-1 victory for Karabakh, against the Turan on that very occasion. All right. When you put all the stats together, we know that the away side Karabakh is a side that is in good form at the moment. And we are going with them to take the day despite the odd. It's quite big, it's quite attractive, 1.7. We still expect to see their away side to win outrightly in this very one. So are we win? That's what value for that very game, okay? Right, the next game is another very interesting encounter we have in Denmark Super League, where we have a Silkeborg who will be up against the FC Copenhagen. And we see in the recent games for these two sides, Silkeborg winning 3 matches and drawing 2. They've also lost once in the last 6 matches for them. And the away side, Copenhagen, winning 2 games and drawing 3, as well as losing 1 in the last 6 games for them. All right, when you take a look at how this side fared from home and away perspective, you could say, and the home side in the last 10 home matches that they had so far, it has produced for them 4 wins and 2 draws, as well as 4 losses out of the last 10 home matches that they had. There is 40% win rate for them, as well as a 40% losses. All right, but when you look at the away side, Copenhagen, the last 10 away matches that they had, has resulted to 6 wins in the last 10 away games, 2 draws as well as 2 losses, you know, and that's 60% win rate for them in the last 10 away games. Okay, but when you look at how these two sides fared on head-to-head basis, you can see that the last time they met, they played out a 3-3 draw on that very occasion. But when you look at the entire chart of the last 10 meetings between the two sides, you could see that it resulted to 7 wins for Copenhagen, and 3 draws on that out of the last 10 meetings between the two sides. There's never been a time Sikkerborg was able to win against Copenhagen, and hence the reason we are going with the West side to maintain the dominance against this very side. So we expect to see a West side Copenhagen, winning outrightly in this very encounter. So it is a win-win. That's our value for that very encounter. All right, next is another Danish teams match as well. It is actually the Danish second division, and we'll have Roskilde and Fremad Amager. All right, the home side in the last 6 matches that they had so far, I've seen them winning 4 games out of those. They've also had 1 loss as well as 1 draw. And the away side, Fremad have had 2 wins and a draw. They've also lost 3 games in the last 6 matches. All right, when you look down at how these two sides fared from home and away perspective, you could say for the home side, Rockslide, the last 10 home matches for them have resulted to 7 victories for the home side, Rockslide, and there was 3 draws. They never lost a single match in the last 10 home games that they had so far. And the away side, on the other hand, Fremad have had just 1 victory in the last 10 away matches. They had 3 draws as well as 6 losses in the last 10 away games. Okay, not a side that fared very well from away. They've lost 60% of their away games, while the home side have actually won 70% of the home, matches that they had so far. So that's to tell you that home side is quite a good side. The last time both teams met, even though we saw Fremad winning by 2 goals to 1 on that very occasion, that was actually in August of this very year. But again, we are going with the home side, the Rock Slide, to do very well in this very one to actually, avenge that loss, against Fremad in the last meeting. So we are going with the home side to take the day and win outrightly in this very encounter. So it is home side to win. That's our verdict for that very encounter. All right, that will conclude it for us today on BetCraft. So wish you the very best of luck and hope your ticket goes greener. Remember to play responsibly as these are football matches. Sometimes other factors might come in and affect the game, and it may not always come out as the way we expected it. It's always advised to play with what you can afford to lose, play for fun. In that way, you enjoy this very thing. All right, with that said, remember to join our VIP special group. We'll put out games and have a very, very greater probability of coming out correctly. So it also be reminded that you are actually supporting us to continue doing this when you join our special VIP group. So do endeavor to join. You can always find the link in the description of this very video. All right, tomorrow is another day. We'll be back, but until that time, keep on it.